my name is Liz and today I'd like to show you how to make this 3 hearts in 1 opal pendant. I will be showing this tutorial in 3 parts. Part 1 is the feature stone, which is the opal. Part 2 will be the bale with the white sapphire. And part 3 is the amethyst heart. This video being part 1, I'll be showing how to make the feature setting, which is the opal. So please come and join me as I show how I wire wrap my 3 hearts in 1 opal pendant. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone, and as you turn it on different angles, the color changes. So now let's start wire wrapping. And the measurements around my stone is 3.5 centimeters. So I've just cut 3 pieces, about 15 centimeters of dead soft 21 gauge gold-filled wire. First up, I'll just make sure that they're all level, and I'll just put a masking tape to hold it, just going around and making sure that it's all nice and straight. Also, I've got a piece of 21 gauge, half hard, half round gold-filled wire. So I just cut off a piece about 12 centimeters long. That is the center of my wire. So I'm just gonna go a little bit off center, half a centimeter off. So this is going to be the front of our wrap, and that would be the back, of course. So I'm just gonna lay the half round over it and making sure it just sticks out just a little bit. That's a bit over half a centimeter, but that'll do. And I'm gonna go around, and I'm just gonna take a flat nose pliers and just squash it, just roughly. And notice how as I squash it, it just went on the side. So I'm just gonna guide this and then go over once, pulling it tight, and another one. So we're just going to do about 3 times. So that way that would sit on my stone like so, like a claw. And so now I'm going to squash this again and bring that first over here just to tighten it and squash the whole thing. A wide tooth flat nose pliers is best. Now if I pull it, it's not going anywhere. And so now I'm going to cut off about the same distance. So that way when I put it over my stone, I still have something to grab hold of the stone, because the stone might look thin, but once you put the wire over it, it's actually quite a thick stone. So just angle it there, just measuring the distance, because as we put it there, I'm going to drape it over on the other side. So I'm just studying as to where I'd like the claw to sit. So that's roughly about it. So which means the next one, so I'd like it to sit on the edge there, like so. Therefore, I need to make a mark. So I'm just gonna mark that, and I'm just gonna go have a look again, test it, or see where it sits. And that's about the distance I would want it, because I have a little bit of a dead spot in the corner there, so I want to cover that. Anywhere that's showing colors, I don't really want to cover. So roughly there. And then our 12 centimeter wire now we can put over here, but we're doing reverse. Just turn that over, and I'm going around again, so the same distance. And notice how the wire flicks on the other side. You could leave it and struggle with it, or you can put another masking tape just to hold it in, so that way it's not flip-flopping. And again, we're going to squash this, making sure that it sits right where I want it to sit. That's about where I want it to go. So now I'm going to go over again, the same, 2, and another one. And we go over there on the other side, and we'll just squash this together gently, so we don't want to mark the wires as much as possible. And we squash it from both sides. Check, yep, that's nice and firm. And we'll cut this off again. And so now we're gonna do a test to see how they sit, and that's just where I'd like it to sit. And then now we're gonna file it. So just file off the edges or the tip, and I'm going to put my stone with, put a bit of blue tack there just so it doesn't move. So now what I'm going to do is take a flat nose pliers, and the 2 prongs, I want it to form a curve to go on the side. So all I'm doing is just going to bend this a little bit, something like that, to go one side, and then I'll do the same on the other side. And I'll just flatten that. That is close enough. And so that one's going out, and then this one I'm gonna go back in. So the bottom, I'm gonna go back in because the space is wider in the bottom. So this one's gonna go tuck in. And that one too. That's close enough. So now I'm gonna go around my stone. Roughly, that is where I would want the wire to sit, a little bit more on the left hand side. And now I'm gonna take my blue tack off, and that one there, and just bend it, just evening it out, and we'll put our stone in. So now, before I close it off, I'm not gonna close it off, so I'm going to open the top part and the bottom part. I'm just using a pin just to jiggle it and spread it from the side. And I've got a bit of gap now, so there you go. And also the bottom. Okay, it's good enough. And so now going to, and I couldn't find my nylon pliers, I don't know where I put it, the thin one, but anyway, I'll just carefully use a flat nose pliers, just slowly tuck this in. So now I'm going to insert my stone. So I'm pressing the sides, so the front, and then now the back, the side view. And so now I need to put this down on my table and press on the back. Now you can use a nylon pliers, but I'm going to use my burnisher. So that's looking much better. And I'm gonna take my masking tape off, and I'm gonna put a masking tape on the back of my stone just so you can see if I'm working on the back of the front. So we've got the masking tape on the back of the stone. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another masking tape and put it on the front of the stone. So that's the front, this is the back where we have the small masking tape. I'm just gonna put it there, so that way it will hold the wire and the stone while I'm working on the back. So the back part, I'm gonna join the two together. So from this side here, we're gonna do a point. I'm gonna take a flat nose pliers, and so to the tip of my stone, I'm just gonna make a little bend like so. And on the other side, we're gonna do the same. So I'll just pull this in, pressing it, and so that way. And then we are going to take these two wires, so that one and the other one. So those two joints, I'm gonna line it up like so, trying to do its own thing. I'm gonna hold it there and put a masking tape on the other end, so that way that would stop them from moving about while I wrap it with the 12 centimeters I cut earlier. So that's the top, and then that's the bottom, so it's tapering more on the outside. And I'm gonna file this, the inside part, and just tapering it and rounding off the edges. And I'm going to just sort of set it roughly there. So I'll get a pen again to mark it. So that's about 1/3 of a centimeter. So I'm gonna take a flat nose pliers and just hold it. And where I'm marking is, I'm gonna take my round nose pliers, the edge, and just bend it there, coming back down to itself. So now I've got it bent. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it there, but I'm going to turn this around the other side, so that way it'll be much easier for me to work with this. And then I'll taking a flat nose pliers and just grabbing hold of that, making sure that sits on the edge. So I'm going to grab that and this way, taking this other end and wrapping it up like so, tight, going around. I'm just going to leave that there for now, and I'm going to squash this. There you go. And I might need to, there you go, push that in out a bit more because it wants to dig into my stone. Push that out, or pull it out, push it there. That would sit better, and I could push it in a little bit better later on. So, but for now, just tiny. Oh, making sure I have contact, and I got off camera again, sorry. So there. Okay, so now this part here I haven't squashed from the other side, so I'm just going to squash it from the other side as well. Okay, so now I'm going to chop this off from the back. We cut off. I need to put a masking tape on the center and put an X here because I'm going all over the place. There you go, better. So I'm just gonna tuck that in and squash. So now when I do that, see how nicely that just sits on my stone. So now I know the back's not gonna go anywhere, so I'm gonna take my masking tape off and we're gonna work on the front. Okay, so I'll lift up the two that's on the front here, that one and that one. Okay, so I've got the two front wire, and with the two front wire, what I want to do is do the same thing. And I still have a little bit of leftover wire, so I'm gonna do the same. But first up is, so I'll pull one side, straighten it out, and go over here, just drag it to the edge, and so roughly there. I'm gonna bend that and that side, making sure that goes well, and bend it, and put the two together. Flick it in the front, drop the stone out, so because I already know that they're gonna meet up. And same drill, I'm gonna masking tape the two together. Okay, so we got two from the back and two from the front. That's all masking taped up. And this one as well, we do the same, we file, and I'll do the same. So want it to sit roughly there. I'm not gonna mark it this time because I already know where it is, but I'm gonna take pliers, hold it on one end, and I'm going to take a round nose pliers and just bend it. Just bend it again. Okay, and I'll put that there and squash it and wrap this up again. Now this time I need to have flat nose pliers on the other end to drag it because it's getting shorter. And we'll squash it. Okay, cut off the excess and squash. And since it's going on the side, I'm gonna adjust that to make it flick to the opposite side, and of course we're gonna have to fish it out because it's gone close there, so something like that. And so the other one just goes on the side like that, and it's quite nicely even. See those 1, 2, 3 prongs. Now this one is a little bit longer, so I'll just make sure that it doesn't move. It's still got movement, so I'll just squash it. And also that one, squash it a little bit. And I'm squashing it and holding it and pressing or fishing out the other side, the other end of our claw. There we go. And I'm gonna do a curve. There we go. And flattening it. So what I'm doing now is making a curve, and need to have that bit more there, less here, more in there. So I've created like a little hook, and I just make sure that that sits right on the stone. So now we'll do the test and insert. And so now that is looking beautiful. With a bit more adjustment here and there and setting it, and everything's still gonna move until we finally set it later on. But so now I'm gonna take the masking tape off because there ain't going anywhere, and that masking tape is bothering me, so I'm gonna take this off and I'll just put a dot because I kept forgetting. Okay, so roughly there, that's the center. A heart, we put a heart there. There you go. So after taking the masking tape off, I'm going to take my wire from one side, pull it on the side, the middle wire, and also the opposite side of that, and just push it on the side. So I'm going to be leaving them like that. So if I grab hold of my wires, you can see the top and the bottom, my stone is not tucked in properly, so I'll just push the back wire in, also the other side. And this is the nice thing about the dead soft wire, it just hugs it. And so this stage now, I'm gonna take my masking tape off because it's getting in the way. So I know now that the stone's not gonna go anywhere, but push that in a bit more. And once we pull everything in together later on, that is still gonna get adjusted and things will still move. And the front now, I'm gonna push that in as well to hug the stone. You can just see in the bottom. Okay, so you got the back and the front. This video being part 2, I will be showing how to make the heart veil with the white sapphire.